it's another very popular options add in compositing beside the light spill. It's a lens flare. And lens flare, it's effect that produced by optical glass on the lenses when you take video or film or some other just photos. So by putting the lens flare over a couple combining layers, we can blend them better together to bring this uniform view between model and background between all other components. So the example right here, we can add, and you can see we have a lens flare on the back. It's given us this almost line that embedded together our image, and also add all these characters kind of bind together. So the similar, if we have it like explosion, you can see we have it going lines over, so it's help us this way, binding object, bring inside the environment, even adding small details like small lens flare on a head will bring those characters together. And as well as right here we can have it. So let's go back and look on some of them. Okay, let's go close all of those files. Okay, so right here we have a street, and lens flare, it's actually lighter usually, light, bright, light. So we can use it several ways, that lens flare. So we can create layers by using Photoshop. In some cases, it's a little bit hard if you create on one image. So for example, if I create the empty layer right here, and it says I want filter, render, and go to the lens flare, it's giving me a message says its selected area is empty, so you need create it. So you have a choice. You can create it directly on the layer. Okay, we can go render, lens flare, selecting here. The problem with this, if we're creating lens flare, okay, maybe some different, even like right this area, it's creating properly, kind of adjusting, but problems as we say, okay, now there's a lens flare on our background, so it does not overlay over our subject. So we have it multiple layers, it will be on the back, and we need merge created, so it's kind of very hard if you go and modify them. What we want to do is have a special layer that we can apply it, and we can do this by creating a simple layer, fill up this with a black color, and because you remember lens flare, it's going on a screen from black, it will be invisible in this case. We'll switch to the screen mode, so as you can see it's totally not affecting, and at this point we can go to render and use lens flare. Again, the one problem is you see the black, so you don't see kind of where's the lens flare located. However, because I preset before, it's kind of remember my settings. In this case, when I do is put it right here. Now, if I want, I can of course change, adjusting, move this layer around, or creating even layers below or other places, and add more lens flare again. So let's go to screen mode. Let's go to render, lens flare, and I can set maybe lens flare in some other places, you know, a little bit different. So right here, and try to place them this way. So this is one way to create lens flare. The other ones, it is don't use Photoshop or lens flare, use it other applications. They have it from null lighting or other effects, or for example, if you have it already pre-made images, and it's come with bonus pack and tutorials with this course, so you can use it. And just example, so we can go drag specifically lens flare, we can rescale it. Okay, notice this is also going as a smart object, so you can rescale without losing resolution, and switch the screen, and right here we have it. That way we actually have a wider range, and if you're going and search just for the lens flare free or other things, you can find variety from the brushes to the already pre-made. And personally, I do like actually use it more already pre-made like these ones, because in this case I can go rearrange, readjust them, create very colorful, different, and just create them and place it. Of course, in some cases, you will kind of need to know how they leans, because this is to look nice, but realistically will never produce like this effect in real lens. So you can have it realistic or more artistic way for the lens flare. But overall, if you're just creating, switch to the screen mode, and you can render inside the Photoshop directly or import it from other file and place it in your scenery without affecting background, and just place it on top of the other layers in your file.